We are live. Welcome.
You were accidentally doing a hook'em horns at the beginning, buddy.
Oh my God, you're
And
right.
I put it down, but you're like that. You're like that.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I was just going like this, like in anticipation. You're right. Hold on. I need to do this for the next 2 minutes to reconcile. Hold
For the
on.
thumbnail.
Hey Siri, set a timer for 2 minutes. Okay.
2 minutes, counting
All right,
now.
we're good. Welcome to the
Ooh.
West Coast Draft Podcast, by the way. Or the Horns Down podcast now. Gosh, this is gonna look bad if the UW ends up winning or losing, I mean. Um, as
Losing.
always,
They're
it's
not
my
losing.
that's right. As always, it's myself, it's Daniel Lisenby, and who is this stranger who is sitting in
Oh
Rob's
yes, who's
right-hand
this new
seat?
person? Yeah, yeah, no, I can't look
Rob's
like a
new kid.
caveman anymore. Yeah, my twin. My other twin.
Another
My
twin. There's
triplet.
the triplet.
Yeah, the triplet.
Well, there
Yeah,
you
no, I
go.
shaved. I'm a normal person now. Isn't that crazy?
That's
And I got
Bob
a
joking in
haircut.
right there.
Oh gosh, yeah, Bob joking in right here. But in horrible pain for the state of the Seahawks.
Yeah,
We'll get to it.
we'll
We'll
talk
get
about
to
our
it.
NFL teams.
Oh
I
my
have a feeling
gosh.
Daniel will probably have similar sentiments, although he predicted they'd lose, so maybe he won't be like shocked. We'll get to that. We'll get to that game. We'll get to all the games from NFL Week 14, and I'll eventually put my arm down. It's starting to get a little tired, but we're getting there. And then as always, we'll go into some NFL Week 15 action, offer our picks against the spread. And it's gonna be a fun one. We're entering the playoff push for I'd say all three of our teams, you know, technically in some cases, but yes, still the playoff push. Um, AFC is a bloodbath. I will say is the only AFC representative. The AFC is going to be a bloodbath, so we'll see how that goes. Um, but yeah, before we get started though, gentlemen, how's it going?
Mm.
This is a weird
We're
week
fr
of football, man.
We're fresh off of a what was it, 63 to 21 was the final? What was the
We'll
final?
talk about
Honestly,
that. As someone
won't
who's been
lie,
very down on the Chargers, I feel very validated.
won't lie, I turned it off at halftime.
Most people did when it was.
I
I
can't
turned it.
believe, I can't believe they made Brandon Staley answer a question as he went off into the locker room. That was rough. I feel bad for him.
I don't feel bad for him, dude. He earned
I'll try
that.
to get
He
another
earned that.
soundbite, yeah.
That's right. That's right. Got to get a sound bite. That's might be the last thing that's ever heard from. Actually, you know what? He probably did a post game interview. I didn't check to see if he did, but he probably did.
They needed to do a Alteron Werner there and retire at halftime.
Or what was that? No, you're
It
talking
was a
about.
bill.
Was
It
it?
was
Yeah,
it was
no. I
Alteron
remember
Werner.
it was a Bill, but was it Werner or was it Shoot, it was the corner who was with the Colts for a few
Oh, you're
years.
right. It wasn't Werner.
I can't remember what his name was, but I do know who you're talking about.
You
Retired
got to
at
look him up
halftime.
now. We got to know his name.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Oh, shoot, who was it? Was he the guy that got traded by the Dolphins on Hard Knocks?
Vontae
Vontae
Davis. Vontae
Davis.
Davis. Ah, there you go. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. We got a bell now. Oh, I didn't hear it. Dang it.
Oh, I'll do it again. This darn fancy microphone. Hear that?
Still not.
Oh.
Oh well. Oh well.
What?
Yeah. It was working the other day. So oh well. We just need a soundboard. We just need a soundboard at
We
the
need
end
a
of the day.
soundboard, man.
But we'll talk about that game more when we get to it because man, as a someone who could be described as a Chargers hater in 2023, that was a validating experience.
You
But we'll get to that game later
think
because
you should? Yeah, yeah, we'll get to it. But
there's
I
a
want to
game
be
between
like,
two 5-8 teams that will have no playoff stakes at all, but it will have stakes on the job security of one Brandon Staley
and Antonio Pierce.
and Antonio Pierce. That's true too. Although they're gonna hire Marvin Lewis. Didn't you see him up in the box?
I did see him.
What a legend. What a legend. But we'll get into this week's games, starting with the game that has the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in first place
They're
in the
back,
NFC
baby.
South. They're
Shout out Kate
back.
Otten.
That's true. Shout out Kate Otten. Shout out Baker Mayfield, who didn't have a great game, but had a good enough game. Desmond Ritter finally threw for more than 140 yards in a game for what I feel like was the first time all season. So good on him for that.
Arthur
I
Smith
Um,
hope
needs
his
to be
one
fired.
touchdown.
what's that?
Kyle Pitts scored a touchdown.
Kyle Pitts did score a touchdown.
Arthur Smith needs to be fired. This is ridiculous. Um,
Hmm.
bring in like the clipboard holder of the or like the dude who cleans up the 49ers offensive meeting room because he can run a better offense than Arthur Smith. It's absurd. They have great pieces for that offense
Oh
too.
yeah, the talents, they're not the quite. They have a good O line, great running
Tight end,
backs,
running
tight
back.
end, receivers. I mean, receivers aren't great, but you got Drake
Drake
London.
London's,
Drake
good red
London's
zone
solid.
target.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, you could use Cordell Patterson as a receiver if you wanted to.
mhm.
Who are their other receivers there? I always forget, honestly.
Is Zacchaeus still there, or no?
Oh,
He's
no, I think Zacchaeus is. Where's
an
Zacchaeus? I
Eagle.
want to say he's with the Eagles. Yeah,
I think he is. Did you
he
spell it with an
is.
S? Oh
Yep,
my gosh.
Philadelphia. Yep, Eagles. So hold on, this inspires me though. I need to look up who their four or like the leading wide receivers are. Um, Stats Falcons. The receivers: Drake London, Daryl Hodge, Mac Hollins, and Scotty Miller. Remember Scotty Miller? He's got a ring.
Kevin King.
So that's right. That's right. Not his brightest moment, Kevin King, but hey, he got Tom Brady one of his remaining rings, which I know Daniel's appreciative of.
Hmm.
So yeah, there you go. Falcons probably have some work to do with that wide receiver room, but hey, tight ends, they got Jonnu Smith and Kyle Pitts. Running backs, they got Bijan, they got Cordell Patterson, they got
Tyler Algier.
Algier, Ty Algier. Quarterback,
Well,
not great. O
um,
line's good though. They got a good O
O-line's
line.
good. O-line's really good.
Yeah,
Well, Cordero Patterson's not a running back. He's a joker.
he's
I'd
whatever
rather
you need
have
him to
that
be.
on his depth chart.
Yeah, he's whatever you need him to be. And the defense isn't even that bad. Defense is solid. You got Jesse Bates, one of the best safeties in the league this year. Um, Falcons have a solid squad, honestly. Um, they just got questions at the two most important parts, the quarterback and the head coach. So, yeah. As for Tampa,
They should
good
tank
win.
for a top QB. Oh, Jaden Daniels would be fun in that offense.
Oh, Jane Daniels would be fun. Oh man, could you imagine? Man, bring it's like right-handed Michael Vick. Bring that back. That'd be fun.
Except Michael
Imagine
Vick was ripped and Jaden Daniels is skinny.
that's true.
He's a
That is
tall
true.
Bryce Young who can run and can't throw. But he's a
I
tall
can't throw.
Bryce Young in body type. How about that?
That's fair. He is very skinny. He is very skinny. Um, and from the Tampa side of things, like I said, good one. Y'all are back in first place. Now the fact that you would be 12th, you would be in the 12th seed in the AFC, but you're in the fourth seed in the NFC. That's where you just like, shout out the realignment gods on that one because it
Oh
really
yeah.
really served you well there.
Wait, I don't think the Bucks were ever in the AFC. They just
No.
weren't in the NFC South.
Yeah, whatever expand when they went to 32 when the Texans came in and they split them up into the 8 divisions, like
Mm.
whoever made the
Oh
call to
yeah.
put Tampa in the NFC South benefited them there for
Hmm.
sure. At least for
Hmm.
this season. They knew 21 years in advance, oh yeah, Tampa's going to get a boost for this. Um So there you go.
Our expansion
All
partner.
right. All right. Go ahead, dude. Go. That's true. They were Seattle's expansion partner. Man, the NFL really put the creamsicles and the silver and royal blue Seahawks uniforms in the league in the same year. Great year for uniforms. Great year for
Hmm.
uniforms. Too bad they got rid of
Not a
both of
good
them.
year for football because those two teams were horrible for like 5 years.
That's true. That's true. But we
But what was
probably
funny
shouldn't
about
delay any
that,
longer. Oh,
just
sorry. Go
one
ahead.
last tidbit of history was the Seahawks had a good offense but a horrible defense, and the Bucks had a good defense but a horrible offense. So it's like if you put those two together, because that was the old Largent Seahawks.
Could have been decent. Could have been
All
decent.
right, floor's yours, Danny.
All right, go ahead and talk about the Detroit Lions.
Are we talking Lions Bears now?
We're talking Lions Bears now. No
Oh
more
man.
delays.
I called this game, boys.
Hmm.
I knew this shit was gonna happen. Yeah, I think the only thing I got wrong was that I thought this was going to be an Aaron Glenn out kind of game, and I feel like to an extent it was, but it was more of a Jared Goff out sort of game.
Mm,
He was kind of putrid. He was putrid, man. I think this game proves that we should not pay him any long-term
hmm
extension. I think at most he should get maybe a 1 to 2 year extension if like Hendon Hooker isn't developed enough, or if there's still a little bit of limbo at the quarterback spot. Jared Goff could be a bit of a placeholder. I do not want to see this team give him a 5 year contract, even 4 years. I hope to God they do not give him a 4 to 5 year contract. I just don't think he's worth that. I think
mm
this game proves like our offense is solid overall. Like the O line is starting to get a little bit healthier. Hopefully they'll all be back for this Broncos game coming up on Saturday. Receivers are pretty good. They're starting to get better. Running tandem is really good. The tight ends are good. Ben Johnson's a good OC. A lot of people were giving him shit after this past game, but honestly, man, like if you're having to coach Jared Goff in a cold weather game, I don't know what you can really do as an OC at that point. Because the thing is, a lot of people were complaining that we didn't try to establish the run enough. And to an extent, I kind of agree with that. But at the same time, the Bears had a 10-0 lead in the first half. So you kind of needed to pass if you need to get a quick score. That first half, try to finish out as best you can. So you're going to call more pass plays, and Jared Goff has to make the throws. That's what I was saying. Like Soldier Field is a really terrible place to play in mid-December. And that's what I
Unless you're the
expected.
Green
It
Bay
was like
Packers.
35, it was like 35-degree high. And if you're right by Lake Michigan, it's going to be humid as shit. So it's going to be 35, feeling like 20. Jared Goff can't play in those conditions, but he's on an NFC North team where he's expected to go to Soldier Field in Lambeau every season. You have to go there every season. You can't pray every year that we go there in September. Sometimes we're going to go to at least one of these venues this time of year. We did it this time of year. We went to Soldier Field in December, and Jared Goff didn't do shit. I do not want to see him get a 5 year contract. My hope now, guys, is that Hendon Hooker comes good, or we just somehow like find a way to get a decent quarterback. Because I believe this offense can operate with most decent quarterbacks. I'm not saying Tim Boyle's going to make our offense good, but most competent quarterbacks will make our offense look good. And Jared Goff has done that for the most part, but he doesn't do it enough. If we can at least get a guy who's about the same quality, but can actually move around the pocket a little bit and not be a total statue and not rely on his old line to have perfect games every single week, I think the offense can go a long way. So that's what I got to say about the offense. Defense, same shit every week. Nothing else to say. Coaching, Dan Campbell, why the fuck are you going for it on 4th and 10 in the first quarter in Bears territory? Like, not even barely Bears territory. It was like midfield. He goes for it on 4th and 10. My guy, if you're not going to kick the field goal, just punt it.
That just really doesn't convert. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I have a go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, I get that Campbell's aggressive. I'm for the aggressiveness, but not on 4th and 10. Go ahead, Rob.
I have a proposal for you, Daniel, and I want you to hear me out here. I
All
agree
right.
with you that Goff is not the long-term answer, and you should not give him a 4 or 5 year contract. There's a quarterback that I know who is probably going to be on the market this offseason and has historically played very well at Ford Field. Would you be interested in Lions quarterback Geno Smith next year?
You know what's funny about that is Gino honestly could be pretty good in this offense, and that's completely unironic. Gino has some elusiveness, which means the O line doesn't have to be perfect every play, and he's got about the same ceiling as Jared Goff. You know, Rob, I'm not gonna say I'm for that right now, but I'm considering it.
I think Geno might have a better arm than Goff too.
That's the thing. I will say though, Gino's got a worse O line in Seattle, but he's also got better weapons, like receiving
hmm
weapons.
That's true.
So we'll see
But
how that
that's
translates.
a fun one right there. That's a fun one.
That
We'll see
that
what
is a fun
happens.
one. That's a good proposal. That is a fun one. I would actually consider that funny enough. But again,
I
I feel like
think go ahead.
what's up?
No, you go first.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like if we get Gino, though, it's kind of the same deal. I think our offense would be a
hmm
little more dynamic with someone like Gino, at least on paper. But I don't know how I'd feel about getting a guy like him long term. It'd be like another 1 to 2 year stopgap. So
Yeah. Um, I think Gino's going to be on the market because he's too expensive right now, and we have an out. And personally, Hendon Hooker, I was never super high on him. That was always a weird one for me. So maybe Lions can maybe try and trade up for a quarterback. Who knows?
Hendon Hooker's not much younger than Jared Goff, honestly.
No, he's not.
I think the
So
Lions are trying to do kind of like what the Packers did with Jordan Love. They're trying to sit Hooker for a little bit, get him prepped with our coaching, and then send him out when he's ready.
Hmm.
So I hope it works out just because we drafted the kid. And I mean, you might not buy into him, Rob, but it seems like, some people are pretty high on his talent as well. So never
yeah, I
really
don't
know
think
what's
yeah.
happening with these
My
guys.
opinion with it, with Hooker, I don't think the question was ever the talent. It was more the age and the injury history, which
Hmm.
is like, if you don't need him to, if you're not expecting him to be the QB of the future and franchise guy, you just want him to be, serviceable. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you
I
spent a third round
think
pick
I'll
on him.
say
It's not like
this.
you spent the first overall pick on him.
I think Penix is a better prospect than Hooker.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I mean that's all I got to say about the Lions. I will say about the Bears, though, I do want to give them some credit. I think they've won 3 of their last 4 now, and they are now back in the playoff race. Surprisingly, that's how bad
What?
the NFC is.
That's
They're
awesome.
they're a game behind Green Bay.
That's awesome. I love that.
Wow. Yeah,
Bears make the playoffs.
Green Bay
LaFleur's saving his job.
Green Bay losing to New York really just threw a whole wrench in the NFC playoff picture.
We'll
Tommy
definitely get to that
C.
game. I got some thoughts about that one too.
Uh,
But
yeah.
no, man, fair play to the Bears, man. They terrible start, looking a little better. Justin Fields is looking like himself a little bit. I don't think they'll
Too
make the
bad.
playoffs, but you know
Too
what?
bad he's not going to be there next year.
No, I mean,
Get
but
packing.
That's
I mean,
true.
they're playing. He's playing well enough that they could actually probably get a pretty decent package for him in a trade. So
Start learning Seattle Seahawk, buddy.
honestly, that'd be fun.
That
That'd
would
be
be a lot
fun.
of fun, man. Dude,
I got some fun info for when we get to the Seahawks. There's some
Okay.
speculation going on. It's very
All
fun.
right. Well, I don't want to delay
Oh,
any
floor is
further though.
Colts
yours
Bengals.
now, Mr. Gleason.
Boys, I said on this pod last week that if Jake Browning can deliver me another game like Jacksonville, I would be a believer. My friends, he was better in this game than he was against Jacksonville, to be
Oh.
quite frank. He was fantastic against Indianapolis. And don't get me wrong, Indianapolis doesn't have like a stellar defense or anything, but Jake Browning was lights out in this game. He had one pick that ended up turning into a pick six, which is kind of ugly, but it looks like at first I was like that was a horrible throw. Afterwards, it kind of looked like the tight end made a weird adjustment to the ball, which kind of led to it. So I'm not putting that on Browning anymore.
Hmm.
He was nails in this game. Joe Mixon had another set back to back. I mean, those have been his 2 best games of the season, the past 2 games. And you know what? A big reason why I think that is Chase Brown's back, and he's playing good. He's
Hmm.
playing good. I liked me some Chase Brown. He's got a little bit of he's
Explosive.
got some yeah, explosiveness. He's kind of him and Mixon are kind of got this little thunder and lightning duo going on right
Hmm.
now. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. So the offense, I mean, it's weird to say this is the best the offense has looked all season. This is better than they looked when Burrow was out there. And you know why? And this is the reason why, is because when Zach Taylor can coordinate an offense. I've been very critical of Zach Taylor in the past. He can actually coordinate a good offense. He learned under McVay. I actually trust him as a play caller a bit more than I did before this. The reason I think he struggles is that when he's got Burrow out there, he tries to run this just like spread 5 wide, just like let Burrow cook sort of deal, like let him play hero ball. But when he goes to Browning, all of a sudden he's under center, play action, screens, RPOs, like just all this, easy stuff that like makes the job easy for the quarterback, gets the ball out quickly, makes it so the O-line doesn't have to sit there and pass protect for 5 or 6 seconds at a time. And the offense is humming. Like it's perfect. Like the skill sets of the players, it's excellent. And I think you can run this offense with Burrow. So this isn't a me saying, hey, let's play Browning over Burrow situation. It's definitely not that. It's a let's keep this offense when Burrow is back. And let's have the best offense in the league for 17 games because the talent's there to have that. So Defensively, they gave up yards, but this is also, I mean, they actually, the pass rush was coming alive. This defense with the lead is so much different when the defense when it doesn't have a lead, because this pass rush, Trey Hendrickson's having a career year. Guess who actually I won't say anything because I might be wrong on the stat, but I'm pretty sure he has more sacks than TJ Watt, but the media won't tell you that. No, he's
Pack a
been
shack.
fantastic. Trey Hendrickson has been amazing this year. Glad we signed him to an extension before the season. There are still, again, questions on the back end. I think they do still give up, I think, too many open receivers. But when you've got a secondary that is 4 first or second year players and then Chidobe Awuzie, you're going to expect to take some lumps first a little bit. And that's
Mhm.
not to disrespect Chidobe Awuzie, but he is coming back from a torn ACL. So, I feel good about the Bengals, man. And I actually, looking at their schedule, I feel good about their playoff chances too. I think they can. Maybe I'll regret saying this. I think they can win all 4 of their games left on the schedule, including at Arrowhead.
You mean Browninghead?
And I mean, Browninghead. Yeah, exactly.
Um, I just love how up and down you've gone.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
like,
This season's
it's
been
over.
literally.
It's over. We're back. It's over. We're back.
It's literally that meme. It's never been more over than it is right now. We're more back than we've ever been
Yep.
before.
Yep.
This
It's so
season's
funny.
literally been that. So I'm expecting a collapse against Minnesota, but we'll see. Anyways, that's it for the Bengals. For the Colts,
Yeah,
I mean,
you picked against your team in that
you
game.
really thought Gardner Minshew was gonna beat Jake Browning?
You
Get out
did.
of here,
You
Beau,
did.
from 1 week ago. You're an idiot. Okay. Colts, not a game you need to lose or you want to lose, considering that Bengals and Colts now both have the same record. This might come back to bite you, but you can right the ship against Pittsburgh because they're also 7-6. Like I said, the AFC is a bit of a clusterfuck right now. So, yeah, there you go. Shane Steichen's still that dude, though. I still like Shane Steichen. Get him Anthony Richardson back and get him Jonathan Taylor back because Taylor didn't play this game, and it's still a good team. It's still a good team with a
Mhm.
bright future. Jacksonville and Cleveland. Is Joe Flacco back? Joe Bacco
Joe
back the
Flacco is an
Flack?
elite
Yeah,
quarterback.
dude.
He said,
It's gotta be weird for Ravens fans seeing Flacco just find the fountain of youth for their rival team.
"Oh yeah." Well,
Joe
there's
Flack.
he is known for playing well in Cleveland. I will say that. So, um. Yeah, what the hell happened to Jack? I mean, Jacksonville's
Hey, Trump
defense
was
isn't
right.
good.
Trump's always right. Joe Flacco's an elite quarterback.
Joe Flacco's an elite quarterback. That's right. Um, as is tradition, though, he'll fall off this week. Literally this week. Actually, they play the Bears. Never mind. He'll fall off next week. Jaguars defense. What the hell happened, guys? I mean, say what you will about Flacco. He played well, but like 2 of his touchdowns were to guys that didn't have guys within 30 yards of them. It was ridiculous. Um, it's easy to run an offense when it's very easy to run an offense when there isn't a guy within 30 yards of the guy who's receiving the football. I will say that. It's very easy to play quarterback when that's the case. But man, the Browns just keep getting beat up. They lost to Juan Jones and Grant Delpit in this game to season-ending injuries. It's like, jeez, it's like, when does it end in Cleveland? And they're still 8-5, despite having like some of the worst injury luck of any team I can ever remember this season. So maybe the wheels come off, maybe they don't. I mean, looking at their schedule, I mean, I think they got Chicago, they got Houston. That's a Houston team that might not have Stroud, the Jets, and a Bengals team that they kind of own.
Mm-hmm.
That could be 2-2. That could get you 10-10. That can get you to at least 2-2 probably. So that's gonna at least get you to 10-7. That probably gets you a playoff spot in the AFC. So yeah, weird. And then for Jacksonville, I mean, you guys are lucky that Houston, Indy also lost because It's a rough week for the AFC South, except for the Tennessee Titans, who we'll get to. But yeah, Jaguars are very lucky that the Texans and Colts also lost because otherwise they would have a partner at 8-5. There's 3 teams within that's 8-5 and 7-6 in the AFC South. So that division is by no means locked up for the Jaguars. Don't give it to them quite yet. So yeah, gotta play better than that. That's for sure. Any thoughts on this game though, guys? Other than Joe Flacco's elite?
I'm just surprised Trevor Lawrence did that game.
Yeah, no, he's not 100%.
Yeah.
It was like Burrow after the whole season that Burrow played, he was hurt. Let's be real here. He hasn't been. I doubt he's even been like 75% all season, and it's like that. You take a hit there.
Yeah. Carolina, New Orleans for the bottom of the NFC South. Oh, by the way, the Sacramento Kings won. Beat the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I don't believe in
in
NBA basketball. I don't
Let's
believe in
go.
it.
Let's go. Keegan
I don't
Murray,
believe
De'Aaron
in.
Fox.
We don't
You're
believe
heroes.
we don't believe in NBA basketball in this podcast.
Your heroes, De'Aaron Fox and Keegan Murray.
We don't. What are you talking
What's
about?
a
That doesn't
De'Aaron
exist.
Fox?
The NBA isn't real.
Okay, you guys don't believe in the NBA for very different reasons. Let's be clear.
Can anyone hear that?
A
little bell ring.
No, I still missed it.
The NBA is not real, if you ask me, as far as I'm concerned.
Ask you again in 2028 and you'll feel a different way, probably.
I feel like you probably will, Rob.
I don't know.
Even when the Sonics come back, you'll still be anti-basketball.
I not anti-basketball. NBA basketball doesn't exist. It's not real.
It's a figment of my imagination.
Mass form psychosis.
Mass form psychosis. You know what? That's inspired.
You believe you think it exists, but it doesn't actually.
I like that. I like that. You know what? The past 20 years of the Sacramento Kings have made me wish that was true, actually. But not this year, baby.
So here's a fun stat, though, that I heard is that the Pistons haven't won since UW played Stanford.
That's accurate.
Is that true?
Yep, it's true.
It's accurate.
Wow.
And I saw an ad. It was like it was $5 boneless wings at Wingstop when the Pistons win.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that too. Yeah.
The Pistons are 2-22.
That's what not getting Wemby does to you.
Look at this. Look at this.
No, bro. I hate this team.
God.
I hate them.
Oh my God.
I hate the Pistons, guys.
It's so bad.
Yeah, October 28th. October 28th. I think that was the day that UW played Stanford, I believe.
Boys, I hate the Pistons. Halloween.
They were 2-1 at one point.
I hate.
They had a winning record through 3 games.
They're 2-2. Oh wait, no, yeah, you're right, 2-1. It's not even that it's like a 21 game skid in the middle or end of the season. It's to open. It's bad, man.
What's the equivalent of let's see. So 2-22. So we are about a little over a quarter of the way
this year. They're so bad.
They're a little over a quarter of the way through the NBA season. They're 5th in their division.
Talk football again, boys. What do you say?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
All right, fine. Well, okay, we'll talk Panther. We'll talk another team that's very pathetic in the Carolina Panthers, who went to New Orleans and just got their shit rocked. It was bad. And you know what? Actually, the funny thing is,
I can't believe
you look at the score and you think the Saints got dominated. The Saints didn't play a very good game.
No,
the Panthers are just barely an NFL team at this point.
I don't even know who their coach is, to be honest.
I think it's Chris Tabor or whatever his name is. I like how I have to say or whatever his name is because that's how unconfident I am that I got his name right. Hold on.
No one's gonna want that job either.
No, who would?
Brandon Staley.
Bill Belichick.
Yep, Chris Tabor. I got it right. Ring the bell. Yeah, Bill Belichick. Yeah, Bill Belichick's gonna go coach the Carolina Panthers.
Hey, he's got a quarterback if he goes.
That is true, and he has nothing else. That's such a horrible job. No one's gonna take that job.
No one good's gonna take
Eric
it.
Bieniemy wouldn't take that job.
I think it might be Bieniemy's job to get.
Probably is, honestly, unless the Commanders fire Rivera and they just promote him from within.
I don't know. I think they want to. I think the new ownership group probably wants to
They
start from
want to see if they
scratch.
can get. They think they can get Belichick probably though. So
That would be interesting. Where is Belichick from? Is he from Ohio?
let's do a little.
I know he had family connections to the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland.
He's from Tennessee originally.
I think he might have been a
Yeah,
military
but he went to
brat.
high school in Maryland.
I
So
that I could
Oh
see
yeah.
that. I could see that. But would that be a good hire or not?
at this stage, why
Beats me, man,
not?
honestly.
I don't know if Bill Belichick's gonna be good wherever he goes, man. I feel like there's this belief, oh yeah, he'll be just a great coach wherever he goes. I don't know, man. He's old and he hasn't put together a good offense in a while, not since
I'd
Brady
say
left.
maybe the Chargers he could be okay with. But like I don't
Maybe
know about a lot of
Oh,
other
he
teams.
does not fit with
him and Herbert would not
Herbert.
be a good
That's not a
mix.
good fit.
Yeah. Herbert needs like a Mike McDaniel type, just like a bro guy.
Yes, he needs. Yeah,
Yeah. That was never Staley. And not to say him and Staley were like, because Staley was coordinating the defense, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I feel like a personality like Herbert, you kind of need like a bro coach. Like I feel like Burrow, you could try, and not to say the Bengals getting rid of Taylor anytime soon, they're not, but Burrow could probably mesh well with a coach like Belichick. But Herbert's a little soft West Coaster. He's a soft West Coaster. He needs a little coddling. So, Brian
Carroll.
Flores also wouldn't be a good fit. Just ask Tua.
Let's get Pete Carroll in LA.
PK. Oh, you know what? Bring him back. Nah, he's gone. If he's gone, it's gonna
he's
go
retiring. He's not
retiring. Yeah,
getting fired. Yeah,
yeah,
I think honestly, if it weren't for all and I'll hit this a lot later. If it weren't for all the antics that are going on, he wouldn't be retiring.
yeah. Trying to think if there would be. I'm trying to think of a good fit for because Harbaugh and Herbert. No, I'm trying to think of like a bro guy that's like
Ben Johnson.
available.
Actually, though, Ben Johnson would be a good fit in the
Yeah, Ben
Chargers.
Johnson's a good one. Ben Johnson would be a great one, actually.
I don't know for Herbert. I don't know about that actually.
I think just personality aside, I think just offensive scheming, I think Herbert would
Mhm.
have a good coach to work with.
I don't know about
That's a
power
matchup
run
that people
though.
think is going to be it could be pretty good if they linked up.
I don't know about this. If he can change the scheme, yes. I don't think Herbert would be the best in the current Lions scheme.
Mhm.
You know what Ben Johnson could be good with though? How about them New York Jets? Zach Wilson already looking good right now. What if he's even better with an offensive coach like that? Not to say Salah's going to get fired or not, but
Right.
could be an interesting thought there.
That could be an interesting thought.
Feel
Um,
bad for CJ Stroud though.
yeah. Tough concussion there. Actually, you know what? Bobby Slovic. That could be interesting. No way. Maybe.
Would
Um,
you do this? Would you do this? This would be a dirty, dirty move for the Texans. But do you think about, if it's Slowick and Stroud are so tight, do you move on uh D'Amico Ryans and to
no
keep
way, man. You
Slowick?
can't, no way. You can't
It'd
do
be
that, dude.
dirty.
There'd be a mutiny if you tried that. I get what you're saying, don't get me wrong, but there'd be a mutiny. It
Oh yeah,
seems
I
like
agree.
everyone loves D'Amico down there. And for good reason. For very good reason. Um, I see what you're saying though. I don't hate that line of thought, but ain't no way. Ain't no way. Um,
Mm-mm.
but I mean if we want to use that opportunity to transition and a segue to Texans Jets actually. There we go. So Rob said the Texans should fire D'Amico Ryans. I just want that on the record.
I
Um,
gave an interesting thought experiment.
Rob Jokinen says Texans should move on from D'Amico Ryans after year one. Um, no, but they went into New York. CJ Stroud. got concussed and didn't look pretty either. He had one of the head whip back ones. He was rolling around. It was not a
Those are the worst. No,
yeah
the only concussion I ever had was on that.
yeah
Was back of the head to the ground. Oof.
yep. Sounds like he'll be out against Tennessee, maybe even longer, which would be a huge loss for them down the stretch here as we get closer to the playoffs. So hopefully he's okay. But yeah,
Hopefully
Davis
not too
Mills
long.
taking over. Yeah,
Oh,
Davis Mills taking over.
the neck. The neck. Does he have a
The
funny neck
neck.
nickname?
He's just the neck. Um, for all intents and purposes. They go to New York. These teams play a 0-0 game in the first half, and then all of a sudden the Jets just explode for
Zach
30
Wilson's
points.
back, baby.
He's back. This is the Zach Wilson that Rob thought was coming out of BYU.
Yeah. I think his confidence got destroyed. That's part of why I think he was
Oh,
back.
he definitely did. Honestly, I think Rob Saleh did to Zach Wilson what Marvin Lewis did to John Ross.
I
But
can see that.
Zach Wilson's having a little bit of a comeback, so good for him. Good for him. At least for this game. Who knows how long it'll continue, but for this game, you know what? Actually, you know who's a Bros coach? Nathaniel Hackett. Put him in LA.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers loves him.
He does. He
I
does.
just
Justin
remember I
Herbert.
remember the memes out on week one. Realizing you have to coach with Nathaniel Hackett for 17 weeks when you hired him just because he was friends with the quarterback.
Yeah.
It was like nom
Yeah.
helicopters
Oh,
on
yeah. It
his
was the
face.
Rob Saleh face where he's just like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That was a good meme.
That was a good meme. Honestly, the NFL always gives us great memes. Um,
But the NFL also gives us great games. And speaking of those, Ravens
oh,
Rams, that was fun.
this is like
Oh my God.
fantastic. You know what? I'm gonna let Daniel lead his thoughts on this one because this is his old buddy Stafford in peak form
Stat
right here.
Badford.
Stafford was dealing again. I'm telling y'all this. He's dealing. Get that hell out of here. He's dealing. You know it, Rob. He's dealing.
He was playing
Seahawks
good.
fans would kill to have Matt Stafford right now. He can play with any quality, with any caliber of O line. Stafford can play well in. He
I'd
gets
kill to
down,
have McVay.
he'll get right back up. And he'd have great weapons there
You'd
too.
kill to have both of them. Let's be real. It's
But
a
yeah,
good combo. It's a good combo.
Hmm.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he was fantastic in this game. This is I know I was kind of said in jest, but this was peak Stafford. Like he was
It was.
yeah,
fantastic in this game. Against on the road in a very tough environment against a team that does not lose to NFC teams, and you know I mean, yeah, the Ravens won, but what a game here! What a game!
that punt return at the end was pretty crazy though.
Oh,
Didn't
that
he
was
stumble
awesome.
like twice and get back up both
Well, you
times?
know what was funny is like the other day I was like, whatever happened to Tyler Wallace? And then that happens. I'm like, oh my gosh, the script writers are tapped into my mind
They're looking, they're watching, they're listening in,
because I
they're
like Tyler
listening in.
Wallace.
He was a fun player coming out of Oklahoma State. And he's still in the league in Baltimore, and he finally made his presence felt. Um,
All right, want to talk about the big game that we have next, the Minnesota Hawkeyes versus the Las Vegas Cornhuskers, played this weekend.
well, no, it's
Dobbs is
funny. Actually, you know
though.
what's funny about this game? Little inside Bo scoop here. Or actually just inside look at Bo's life and my family life. This is the first NFL game my sister's ever gone to because she's on the
Oh my
record saying she
God.
hates football. She hates football. But her now husband is a Vikings fan, and Phoenix to or Vegas isn't too far of a drive, so they decided to go for this game because the Vikings don't play in Vegas or Phoenix very often. So they went up. This was her first NFL game, and she got to witness a 3-0 instant classic. Um, and mind you, this is the same Raiders team that just put up 63 points on the Chargers. Um,
This
hey,
league is
no,
so weird, guys. So much weird stuff
yeah,
happens.
the this is ugly. Both of these offenses were just horrible. Um, just absolutely horrible. Um, I don't know if there's much to take away from this. I mean, great job to the defenses. Both defenses played well. And as we saw against, I mean, granted, I don't think the Vikings or Chargers have good offenses, but the Raiders defense has actually been playing pretty solid the past couple of weeks.
Hmm.
I got a takeaway, Bo.
Yeah,
Dobbs is Tebow.
Dobbs. He has gone, and the funny thing is, he had the exact same arc in Minnesota that he did in Arizona. He just did it faster. He
Literally,
had a couple
literally.
good games to start. Everyone started to hype him up. And then he fell back down to earth just a little bit, but they started to lose games. And then all of a sudden, he's back to being benched. Literally the same arc
A
he had in
pumpkin.
Arizona, except he only took
Yep.
6 weeks to do it this time when he took 9 weeks to do it in Arizona. So, or eight. No, he did 8 and 6, not 9 and 7, 8 and 6, 8 and 6. So there you go. Sorry, Minnesota. Dobbs ain't your guy. Their offense has been putrid the past couple of games they played. They also only scored 10 against Chicago, and that was in the dome too. So, yeah, I think that's just going to be the identity of this Vikings team the rest of the way. See how far the defense can carry you because Brian Flores is still a good defensive coordinator. He'll probably be a head coach
Honestly,
next year,
I
honestly.
think he'll be a head coach next year
Yeah.
because he's doing definitely some very um cutting edge stuff. So there's something called NTTs. It's called a non-traditional Tampa. So
Hmm.
old Tampa 2, but with different looks. So here's what an NTT basically is though. So like you can start in a two safety look, right? And then
Hmm.
like right when the snap comes, one of them rolls down and you're back to a one safety look, right? A little disguise there. Or you can do it post snap too, right? You know how you can do that, right? Well, an NTT is basically uh doing the reverse. So starting in a one safety look and then going to two. And it's mostly post snap and mostly a Tampa two. But instead of the linebacker running the pole, it's probably the deep safety already. Or the deep safety will hit one side and then you got a cloud corner on the other. And then you got a linebacker run the pole. You were a linebacker, right, Bo?
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever run the pole?
I did not run the ball. No.
That shit was hard.
Yeah.
Tampa 2 is weird, but I think Brian Flores is gonna get another look.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, he's innovating. He's innovating on the fly too, which is,
Maybe
that's what you got to do.
Patriots.
Hey, I could see the Patriots as a great fit bringing him back. That actually would be a great hire, honestly. Try to match up with the Tua, the Allens, and whatever the Jets try to
Revenge
have at
arc.
quarterback.
Revenge arc.
Revenge arc, yeah. If Brian Flores takes over for Bill Belichick when Bill Belichick was the one who texted him that stuff and
Congrats, Brian.
that's Brian, yeah. With the giant, yeah.
You
So,
fired hot shot. All right, let's get into the real game of the week. Here's my time. Here's my
all
corner.
right, here you go. Floor's
So
yours.
Gino was out. So like, I was very pessimistic. Gino was out. Um, First play of the game, a little crack toss. Both Quandre and Jordan Brooks totally overcommit, and that's a 75-yard gain by Christian McCaffrey on the first play. So I was like, all right, that's over. Um, Defense in the first half wasn't too bad other than the safeties. The worst part of the defense was the safeties. They were getting abused, absolutely abused, all three of them. We were paying about $60 million for all three of them this year. And honestly, I think their job could be done just as well by rookies being paid $1 million. And like I was saying this, not only are our safeties bad and overpaid, but they make fools of themselves and embarrass the organization on a weekly basis. This is the week after Jamal was like, when they go low, I go even lower, and then he gets torched like several times. Um, Quandre was sitting in a coverage that no one was in, but there's a person right nearby him and he scores a touchdown. It was, and like, Jamal like hits someone for like a 7-yard gain and like starts like flexing. and then he gets burned by Debo. So yikes, and Jamal Adams was trending on Twitter uh during that game. It was embarrassing. I am not mad at DK for the fight in the end. Fred Warner provoked it. Fred Warner did a dirty Bush League move there, and he was crying foul about it, which is just like that's bullshit right there. You got a fat fine for it. I am not mad at DK for doing that because we need more of that. We haven't had that kind of bully mentality since the LOB era. Um, we don't have the Bamps anymore, you know. I'm not mad. There's things that DK he's done that are stupid. That is not one of them. And then a punk long snapper signs, fuck around, find out after the game. Doesn't even do it during the game or before. It's like if he's on the team next year, his ass is getting ran on the first punt. I want this guy getting flipped, folded.
Wait, what
Uh,
happened?
so DK has been doing sign language when he scores, so he doesn't get penalties. So the Niners long snapper after the game posted on Twitter like a sign language of fuck around, find out. One, like DK uh got the best of that one. And but two, doing it after the game is pussy shit right there. Do it during the game. And you're a long snapper. So I want DK to get lined up on the long snapper on the first punt and just fold him.
Yeah. What's the
Embarrassing.
speculation you've heard though?
Embarrassing. Fifth straight loss to them. Absolutely embarrassing. Here's a speculation I've been hearing is well, one, oh, what happened here? Did he go away? I might have to save the juicy stuff, or does he want me to talk? I'll just talk it.
Oh
But
no, I'm still here. I'm still here. Don't worry. I just had to pop off screen for a second. I'm listening.
okay. Um, so what happened was, there's been so much drama about the whole Jamal Adams stuff all week, and like he's been getting questions for the first time ever. He's been getting hard questions at his pressers. And KJ Wright on his podcast absolutely went off on it. It was great. It's what we've needed to hear. I miss that kind of stuff. And supposedly he's kind of lost the locker room. They're not really hearing him. Jamal is a very divisive figure in the locker room. Some people love him, some people hate him. It's very clear that KJ is saying what Bobby told him. I think that is clear as day. I think Pete Carroll's going to retire at the end of the season. Um, I think he really tried to go all in this year because he has 2 more years on his deal and he's 73. And the big speculation, this has just heated up the past 2, 3 days. It's big speculation, and there was supposedly a lot of movement about this during the Seahawks Cowboys week. Is Dan Quinn will be the replacement if Pete Carroll retires, which I would be very happy about. I want Dan Quinn to be the guy personally. He'd be my first choice out of realistic options, you know. My first choice would be Mike McDaniel, but that's not happening.
Mm.
But total mess, absolute embarrassment to the organization, and I cannot wait to see Jamal Adams get cut. I defended that trade for a long time, but I'm just sick of him. A lot of people call him the Peacock. He's just an idiot. I can't
Well,
believe they let him play this week. They should not have let him play.
between Brian Flores going back to New England and Dan Quinn going back to Seattle, we could have a little defense coordinator reunion off season. Be fun. Be fun. Jim
But
Schwartz going back to Detroit. Did you hear that?
Dude, as our DC, I
That'd
wish,
actually be
man.
sick. That'd actually be sick.
No, honestly, Jim Schwartz deserves a head coaching gig again.
Mm.
He should go somewhere where he can do that.
hmm. But yeah, it's a mess. It's bad. This is Pete Carroll's first ever 4 game losing streak as a Seahawk. This is this is what you hear. This is what you see. All the talk in the news. That's what you see and hear during a dying regime. I think it's over. If we lose to the Eagles, it's over.
It's
Can you
probably
take
hung
let's
on
take
for
a
a little.
look at the schedule here.
Yeah.
Take a look at the schedule here.
The Seahawks still, I mean, after this Eagles game, they got 3 winnable games left on the
Yeah,
schedule for
and I
sure.
don't want to. I think they're going 2-2 down the stretch. I think I'm more tempted. Oh fuck! But then I'd have to go to Arizona and then back the next day to Houston if we win.
And we're gonna be the Longhorns, so you might as well just call that one,
But that could be
honestly.
Pete's last game.
It could be. It could be.
It would be crazy if I saw Russell's and Pete's last game as a Seahawk. I might be taking the Greyhound from New Orleans to Arizona. Go through
I
all
don't
of
know if it
Texas. That would be a trip, man.
that would be a trip for sure. Um, I
I'm
think y'all
thinking
can
2-2 here.
I think it's I think
But
you go
we've
2-2.
lost the magic of, oh yeah, they'll win a game they shouldn't, you know?
Yeah.
Steelers is I say Titans Steelers or Titans Cardinals.
Titans Cardinals. Yeah, that's what I think. I think that's probably the 2 wins there. Which is a shame because the two
We're the
losses would be the
perfect
home games.
we're the perfect get right game for the Eagles too.
Yeah.
It's sad. I hope, I want this ugliness to end so if he is going, we can have a nice send off. Um, you guys think he's gone?
Oh yeah, he's got to be done at this point, man.
I don't
Been there
know.
for over a decade,
I feel
man.
like at this point
Yeah.
it feels like the end
You're
of the Marvin
you're
Lewis era in Cincinnati, where it's just like at a certain point the message gets stale and you just need new
but
leadership.
there's some tough things around it, because Seahawks will be going up for sale. Does Jody Allen want to do that? Does he want to have that steady presence? Does Pete want to retire? Does he have that in his mindset,
Hmm.
Does he understand that word? He's old, but some of those guys coach until they're dead, like Joe Paterno, you know? There's some Bobby Bowden. Some of these dudes coach until they die. I don't know if he'd be willing to give it up, but I think if it weren't for all this drama lately, I'd think that stuff would reign true in his competitiveness and not want to leave, wanting that last playoff run. That's why I think they traded for Leonard Williams and splurged in free agency when they probably shouldn't have the last 2 years. Um,
Hmm.
it's 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 a weird time right now for the Seahawks. We might not have our gum chewer on the sideline much longer.
It's a shame, man. It's a shame. It'll be weird to see someone else out there. And if it
It
is Dan
would.
Quinn, it'll be weird to see Dan Quinn on the sidelines because he's always been a booth guy. I guess he was on the sidelines in Atlanta, so that's not that weird, I
He
guess.
was
But
on the sidelines for the Seahawks.
was he? I thought he was in the booth with the
Hmm
Seahawks.
He
Huh.
was sidelines. Pete
The
has
more
his
you know.
Pete typically until like 2020, both were always on the sideline. And then you had Skybox Shoddy that year. That
Hmm.
was the during Russ Cook was Skybox Shoddy.
Hmm.
And I think Waldron's always been on the sideline, but Hurt this year's in the booth, but he wasn't last year, so it's weird.
Hmm. It's gonna be a weird offseason for Seattle. It'll be
Personally,
a
I like an OC in the booth.
yeah, yeah,
Well, but then it's tough to talk with your QB. It depends what kind of head coach you have, right? Probably like an
right.
offensive head coach, it's better to have the OC in the booth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's what the Bengals got. That's what the Huskers
Was
got.
yeah, was when you were with UW, I forget this.
What's
Was
JD?
Hamden in the booth? Was
No,
JD and Hampton?
Hamden, JD started on the sideline. He was on the sidelines for 21 or for 20, and the first 2 games of 21, we put him up in the booth from Arkansas State on after
It's
that.
like get the fuck out of here.
Get off the sideline. Um,
Well, what's funny is I saw, I was just going through some coaching Twitter today. There's Sharon Moore giving a clinic, and it was against the Huskies. He had some tape, and I was like, oh, I blocked that out of my mind.
it's easy to get a clinic against the John Donovan offense, honestly.
Well, actually, no, but it was against Jimmy's D actually.
Michigan offense
Good
didn't even
old.
play that good in that game. Get out of here.
No, they didn't. They didn't. Good old Randy Gregory. Was he sideline or booth?
Randy Gregory?
Oh, Bob Gregory.
Oh, Bob Gregory. Bob Gregory was sidelined. I was like, Randy Gregory, the pass rusher for the Niners? I think he's with the Niners now. I know better for the Cowboys. Wait, hold on. Just want to verify. Randy Gregory with the Niners.
He's with the Niners. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yep. Cool. Cool. Just want to confirm. Um, any more thoughts on Seattle, San Francisco? That was kind of so there's a lot there, I can tell, but it's all good. More
Hmm.
thoughts, better. Anything?
That D line's insane, man.
Okay.
I'm done with the Seahawks. That was a rough one. That was a really rough run. I won't get
That
over that one.
feels like an end of the era type game. I get it. I get it.
It is.
Um,
It's just, you see on offense and defense just how we've been passed by a little bit. I think Pete's always had his fingers in Waldron's offense, to be honest.
yeah. Bills Chiefs. So nothing controversial happened in this game. So I think we
Nope.
just kind of skip past.
Oh my gosh, the moaning and complaining has been so annoying.
Every
He
Bills
was
game
clearly
has been arbitrary.
offsides.
And that's the rule, and it's been called this year. They called it tonight too.
Mm-hmm. He was.
Like,
I mean,
here's
it's not like
here's
a controversial. There are penalties that are subjective. Pass interference is subjective. Holding is subjective. Offsides is one of those things where it's like you're either onsides or you're offsides. It's one or the
and
other.
here's the thing. You ask the ref. He wasn't even looking at the ref. You go, here's what you do as a receiver. I'll show you real quick. You go, that's how you tell them you're on. And the ref's gonna be like, if you're offside, you're and they'll do that for you. It's
Mm-hmm.
lazy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then the video that came out afterwards, I was like, Tony did check, and it was like Tony like looked over at the sideline, he pointed, and then he started looking at the ball. Before like within a half second, he started looking at the ball before he started pointing, basically. Like
Championship teams do the little things right.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, exactly.
And the meltdown, like it's not it. You broke the rule. Why you Oh, you can't call that then. Like Mahomes saying you can't call that. It's like
It's like, oh, it took
last
away
week
it took away
you
a
had
Hall
a
of Fame play by
better
a Hall of Fame tight end. Like,
last week you had a better response to a worse call. Where was that?
mhm, exactly,
I
exactly.
lost a lot of respect there. I don't like that.
Hmm. You like my Mahomes impression there? I thought it was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
He took away a Hall of Fame tight or a Hall of Fame play from a Hall of Fame tight end. Like that, you
He
can't do
took away a
that.
stupid play. A stupid play. I don't like it.
I
I
cut.
think
It
it's
was
dumb.
it was a good heads up play by Kelsey, but it didn't count because the receiver was offsides. So get over it. That's for the Bills. Kind of a season-saving win here.
Oh, absolutely. Josh Allen balled out.
He
Hey,
balled
you know
out.
what Josh Allen played like?
Patrick Mahomes.
No, he played like the 9/11 the 9/11 hijackers. I saw someone after that game make like like the play like a champion today for Notre Dame is play like a terrorist today. Photoshopped over it.
Like a terrorist. That's horrible. That's
It was
horrible.
horrible.
Never a
I can't
dull
believe they
moment
won
for
after
the
that.
Bills Mafia.
I can't
Yeah,
believe they
there
won
you
after
go.
that.
Hijack the AFC, man. That's what you said last week. And
Oh,
by golly, they're on their way to it, man.
oh my
Might
gosh.
have counted them
Oh,
out
it's
a little
so
too
bad.
early, but we'll see. That's still a very, very talented football team up there in Buffalo. We'll see if they can hold on. I mean, Kansas City seems like they got real issues right now. Like it's getting to the point where you can't really ignore it. Oh, the Bills have two cakewalks left on the
You know
schedule,
who's going to
so
be
that's
a
good for
chief
them.
next year?
Who's
I think
that?
Jalen Polk's going to be a chief.
Jalen Polk would be a chief. Jalen Polk would be a good chief. That'd be a good fit, actually. He can actually
Rome,
catch the football.
they like their Huskies. Rome could be a chief.
Rome
I
won't
think he'll
be
be.
there. Yeah,
Depends where
both
they
going
finish,
top
but he probably
15.
won't be. Yeah, yeah. He's receiver two off the board, I'd say. I
Yeah.
think I think there's, a good debate about Neighbors or Rome for the true Palinikoff, but I think Rome has a bit more NFL potential than Neighbors.
Hmm.
What Rome's gotten so much better at this year is just the contested catch.
Mm-hmm.
That was always the one thing on him last year to get better at, and he has. I think there's all right. How many first round Huskies are there this year? Rome and Troy, I think, are first round
I
locks.
don't think Troy. I don't know about Troy for sure. Rome for sure.
A
Rome's a
scout told me
lock.
20s for Troy, and he's very confident about that. NFL
Interesting.
teams like him at guard a lot. I think he's a Pro Bowl guard. I mean, you look where guards have went a lot lately too. I think back to Zach Martin. He was in the 20s, I believe. Um, I think he's gonna go in the 20s. I think he's gonna have a good combine too. He's pretty explosive. Who else we got? I don't. Mike's not going in the first round, I don't think. Braylon. That's close. That'll be tough. He'd be late first round.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on his combine.
Bradley in the edge, yeah.
Yeah, those are the four people who are, and then probably Mike's the next off the board, but I don't think he's
Mm-hmm.
going first unless someone really likes him. I think he's probably QB5 right now.
Yeah. Mm, 4 or 5. 4 or 5.
I have Rattler
Caleb,
at 4.
May, Oh, wow. If you got to throw a Rattler in there. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I could see that. I think he's for sure at best 4. At best 4.
I agree.
Um, so
Jane Daniels has really had a rise.
he definitely has. He definitely has. Speaking of rise, you know what doesn't get me to rise is the Los Angeles Chargers. There you go. There's the segue.
Speaking of rise, let's ride.
Let's ride.
Broncos
A little bit of a
country.
stretch. A little bit of a stretch, but I tried.
LA Chargers are horrible. And that was shown tonight. Justin Herbert was the only reason that team was competitive. And he got shown tonight. We'll talk about that when we get to that game, but I mean, he got hurt. I mean, they were losing this game when Herbert was playing, but then Herbert got hurt, and then it was like, is this game worth even playing anymore? Because the Broncos, I mean, the funny thing is, it was 24-7. It should have been worse because they had an egregious fumble return touchdown called back. It was clearly a fumble, and it got called back as incomplete. So don't know how that happens. Should have been worse than 24-7. Let's be clear. Broncos just absolutely smacked them around. It was embarrassing. Chargers are a joke of a
Hmm.
team. They should be embarrassed. That's a little harsh. They're a
Not
bad team,
really.
though.
I
They're a
think
bad
that
football team.
sums it up just about right.
And I've been on this train. I've said for months, hey, I don't think the Chargers
That's
are
true.
that good. I've said for months that I don't think the Chargers are that good.
I feel like keeping Staley at this point is just ownership malpractice.
They should have fired him after the Jacksonville game last year. After they blew a 27-0 lead in the wild card round, you cannot keep that coach for another year. You have to just can him on the spot, especially a coach that had already had a little bit of controversy. And especially when there was rumors that you were going to go after Sean Payton. Guess who's the coach of the team that just absolutely shit-faced you on your home turf and knocked out your quarterback for the rest of the season? That's right, it's Mr. Sean Payton. So
That was pretty
there you
funny.
go. There you go.
Honestly, I thought Herbert was a way better fit for Peyton than Russ.
Yeah. So they made a mistake keeping Staley. They should have done it last year, and they might have screwed over
I've
their
I've
window.
always I think
Because that's
I'm
what.
still
Okay.
I still, from my 2020 year, still think Staley's a really good coach with how that defense was. But yeah, it's time for him to go, especially after this week.
The problem, I mean, they're 50 million over the cap next year.
Wow.
They are going to have to make some decisions, and they are not going to be a good football team next year either. This was kind of their window. And I think
You
and
have
that's
that
not
young,
to say it
affordable
won't open
quarterback.
up again because they got Herbert and you got your quarterback, which is good. You need your quarterback. But we need to talk about how we're going to be talking about a mediocre Chargers team for the next 2 or 3 years while they have to rebuild around Herbert. And hopefully they get the coaching hire right this time.
Hmm.
So
I think it could be an attractive position, but do they fire Tom Telesco finally?
That's
He's
another
been
good
there
question. Hasn't he been there for
forever.
he's been over there for over 10 years now?
I feel like he's been there since Mike McCoy was there.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. So it's Spanos, man. He doesn't want to
Mhm.
change anything because it's too expensive. Man just wants to cut costs.
Agreed. Agreed. That's why he's renting out the Rams Stadium. I guess
Yeah.
the Jets did that with the Giants too, so he's not the only one. But I mean, straight. I mean, the Rams built that stadium, and the Chargers are just are sharing it with them. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
they're
So
just there. Just like the
there's kind
fan
of that.
bases. Most LA football fans, Rams fans. A lot of the Chargers fans don't even watch that team anymore after they left San Diego.
Yeah. Yep. They're a sad franchise. They'll continue to be sad. They were sad tonight, that's for sure. We'll see if Brandon Staley's still their head coach in the morning. Actually, you know what? I was talking earlier about, hey, I don't know if they interviewed him after the game. They did, obviously, but I wasn't sure. Um, he was asked straight up, "Do you think you're going to be the head coach tomorrow morning?" And his answer was, "I don't know."
Oh,
Wow.
that it is bad there.
Yeah,
Wow.
They might lose out with that mentality.
yeah, yeah. It's bad. So
Um, give Kellen a shot. Um,
give Kellen
but
3 games.
it might be lose out territory for Brock Bowers.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 5-12 gets you probably fifth or sixth pick. That place. That place. Um,
Or a good tackle. He could get a good tackle, Brock Bowers, maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. or he could get a haul for a quarterback. There's 3 of them.
yeah, that's true.
There's some
That's
good
true.
choices there.
Yeah. So they can get some
I
talent
would
through the
much
draft,
rather
but
have this year's 5th overall than last year's.
yeah, that's accurate. That's accurate. Although we now recently saw that Will Levis is that dude. But we'll talk about that game when we get to it.
Oh,
Um,
who would have said that? I don't
it'd be,
know.
it'd be Dolphins.
Your
Let's
twin,
go.
Rob Jokinen, would have said that.
Oh yeah, it's true. Rob Jokinen with a
Yeah.
beard would have said it.
Sounds like
This
a smart guy.
Bob Jokinen wouldn't have said that.
Sounds like a smart guy.
Um, but we'll move on to Sunday Night Football here. What was gonna be a great game, or seemed like it was gonna be a great game, and Cowboys kind of rocked them. Cowboys destroyed them.
Kind
How
of.
about them Cowboys?
They
The
rolled.
the Texas Coast offense is real, folks.
It's a fun team down in Dallas. I know we make say like, hey, they can't beat good teams.
Here we
They're and
go.
they only beat the bad teams. And
Just
is
crushed a good
Philadelphia a
team.
bad team? We'll find out on Monday night if they lose to Seattle, I guess. But
Yeah, here we
Philly's
go.
good, bro. Even if they lose, they're good, man. Come on.
They're not
not if it,
losing. Let's be real here,
That's
folks.
some reactionary shit.
yeah. Hey, actually, underdogs have won the last like 8 Monday Night Football games. It's some like insane
Wow.
stretch. So,
Covered or won?
one straight up.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, wait, hold on. Honestly, hold on. We'll talk about Cowboys Eagles while I find the stat here.
the Joe Buck effect.
Um, yeah, Monday Night Football sucked this year, so that doesn't surprise me. Dak for MVP. I'd rather him get than Purdy because Purdy is Bo Nix. Yeah,
Okay,
they're
here we go.
legit. I don't want them to win the
I can't
Super
find
Bowl
the
though.
straight up Monday night schedule, so I'll just go it from here. Titans Titans beating the Dolphins, Giants beating the Packers, Bengals beating the Jags, Bears beating the Vikings, Eagles beating the Chiefs. You may say, hey, it's not really an underdog. Eagles were the underdog in this game. Broncos beating the Bills. I think that was the last one. I think so. Not 8 in a row, but like 6 in a row is still a crazy stretch for that. Underdogs are winning straight up on Monday Night Football. So congratulations, Mr.
What? Did Seahawks play on Monday night already?
Did they? I can't remember. Oh, they played the Giants. They played the Giants.
We were underdogs in that?
No, I'm saying they're the underdogs against the Eagles this Monday night. So if the stretch keeps going,
Okay. Okay.
then you're going to
Okay.
beat the
I see
Eagles.
what you mean.
Yeah. I see. So, yep. What was that? 6 in a row? 1, 2, 3,
At this
4,
point, it's draft
5,
position for the
6.
Seahawks. We got to lose out.
Yeah, but don't want Seahawks combo. As fun as it is to hijack. Eagles got
Oh,
dominated
it would
by
be
the
very
Cowboys.
funny.
How physical? Like it just Cowboys looked like they could do whatever they wanted on offense, honestly,
I
throughout this
know.
entire
That was
game.
CD went off. I hope
Yeah.
CD keeps this hot streak up because that could be, with how he's playing right now, I think I
hmm
might win the chip.
Brandon
Aubrey
Aubrey.
killed it in that game as a kicker too.
Yeah, he was
I know. You got me
insane.
22 points.
He was
Yeah.
Dude,
insane.
a good
Brandon
You
kicker.
Aubrey
got
was
me 22 points.
amazing.
Brandon Aubrey, league winner. Saying it right here, boys.
There you go. As for the Eagles, y'all need a gut check and soon because it ain't gonna get easier. It ain't
Nope.
gonna get easier. Now when the playoffs
What's
come
going
along,
on with them, man?
they haven't played a great like complete game in a while. Like
No,
I say,
they
maybe
should be playing
Miami.
better.
Let's look at their
I
schedule here.
think
When's
I
the
think
last time?
losing both coordinators has really hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs, yeah.
Even the Chiefs
Those are
though. I mean,
two
yeah, they beat them, but
those are
they didn't
two
play that.
tough back-to-backs.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't played like
Niners
a
and Cowboys
real
back to
good
back.
complete game since the Dolphins win, I think.
Yeah, I agree. They played very well. That was Kelly Green game too.
Yep. So they got some questions to answer in Philly, I think. Luckily, they've got a absolute cakewalk of the last 4 weeks. So we'll see at 14-3, but
Oh gosh, that is so easy. Hey, no, they
yeah,
got the hottest quarterback in the league, Tommy Cutlets, baby, ruining the Giants draft tanking.
we're in the tank for
I don't know
Caleb.
why they're doing that because they could have gotten Caleb, and now is he going to be a Patriot or a Cardinal?
Yep. Or a bear. He could be a bear still.
Gonna be a Bear still? Yeah. Oh yeah, is Panthers number one still?
Oh, Panthers are number one by 2 games. They got a 2 game. If they lose and the Patriots and Cardinals both win, which unlikely but possible theoretically, they lock up the first pick.
Wow.
So there you go.
Talk about an all-time bad trade right there.
It's not looking good. It's not looking good.
Do they have
Um,
next year's one as well?
no, it's just the 2 years of ones. Still though, not great.
Monday night double header. So happy they're back. It delivered two awesome games.
Yeah, I hear Monday night doubleheaders might be a thing the NFL like makes like a thing like
Yes,
every
I
week
love
going
it. I
forward.
love it.
It's fun.
It's
It's
awesome.
fun. So they
I
both
really
these are
like it.
both great games. These are both great. I know Daniel had a lot to talk about the Green Bay New York game, so we're gonna keep him on in suspense and talk about
Oh,
Will Levis going down to Miami and pulling off the greatest 3-minute comeback in
baller,
NFL history.
baller.
Yeah,
Literally,
that's
I
all
mean, I'm
there is
not
to
in
say.
NFL history, but in a long time. In a long time. I can't remember what it was. It's been some insane stretch, but yeah, they're down 14 with less than 3 minutes to go, and they won in regulation.
I think it's the fifth time in the 21st century that a team came back from like about 14. It was like, was it under 2 or 3 minutes to go?
I think it was
What
under
was the
three.
stat? Okay. Yeah. You heard from, I think, do you guys ever watch Urinating Tree?
Oh yeah, urinating tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah,
think,
love urinating tree.
yeah, I think he mentioned that it was the fifth time in the 21st century that a team has done that.
Well, there you go.
Well, Levis is a
Yeah.
baller.
Will Levis in Miami, falling asleep at the wheel, and also, and I don't want to say he got exposed a little bit, but when Tyreek was out, you could tell the offense was not the same without him. So
You
Mm-hmm.
know, Rob, I got a proposal for you, actually. Now that you mentioned Tyreek Hill, you mentioned Dak could be MVP. Low-key Tyreek, he could be MVP.
I think if he misses games, that narrative's gone. I think that's a fair one though.
he should. I think from a straight up, he should be probably MVP. But I don't know if they can ever give that to a wide receiver, to be quite honest.
It's if Cup didn't win it that year, it's gonna be pretty tough.
There's a year
Mhm.
to do it. I think This is the one. But yeah,
It
you're
is a
right
good
about
year to
that.
do it.
They
Yeah.
didn't give Megatron any MVPs. So,
Hmm.
you know,
Once because that
It's
Lions
tough,
team
but I
was
like
4 and
that.
12.
I'd
He didn't
I'd
win a
prefer
single
Tyreek
record.
to Dak and Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's a bad NFL season when your main MVP candidates are Dak and Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has a
About
worse
Lamar Jackson.
is
We just
similar.
gonna we sleeping on Lamar?
Honestly, Lamar should be MVP. He's had a great season.
At least he
Yeah,
needs to
that's a
be
good
talked
point.
about more for it. No one's talking about him
Yeah,
for it even,
no
I
one
feel
is.
like.
well, when the Cowboys are good, who do you think the media is going to talk about? The small Baltimore Ravens or America's team, the
I,
Dallas
I
Cowboys?
I
Ugh.
resent the Ravens underdog narrative there. So you're off the pod, Daniel. I'll see you next season.
I'm saying compared to the
You're
Cowboys,
fired, hot shot.
You're fired. Shot. No, you're right. You're right.
whatever.
Yeah. Compared to the Cowboys, you're definitely right though. Compared to the Cowboys, the Eagles are considered a small market team. Let's be real.
True.
So,
The only team that can really stand up to the Cowboys is maybe the Patriots, but they're so bad right now.
Patriots or Steelers, I think those would be really the only two. Well, Steelers aren't even a big market; they're just a big name.
Yeah.
So maybe the Giants when they're like at the peak of their power, but they're definitely not right now.
Speaking of the Giants,
But speaking of the Giants being at the peak of their power, I'll hand the stage over to you, Mr. Daniel.
Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito making his mama proud in the match against the Green Bay Packers. No, honestly, the only thing I really wanted to say is that this game is proof that the NFC is such dog water, man. They're so bad. The fact that the Packers are 6-7, they have a 7 seed playoff spot. The Giants, bro, have been absolutely terrible all season. They're only a game behind the last playoff spot. This is so
this is so
stupid.
bad.
Like, Rob, I want to give your team credit here. The Seahawks, 1,000, even you have your criticisms about the Seattle Seahawks, but they are 1,000 times the team that the Giants are. They are
Hmm.
100
Hmm.
times the team that the Packers are. And yet you're competing with these teams, bro. That's how bad the
I
NFC
think
is.
I think you're underestimating the Packers a little bit. They've been looking pretty good lately. They've been
And I'm
looking
not
better than
even
the
like
Seahawks, that's
saying
for
that
sure.
to dog on Seattle. I'm just saying that the fact that all these like middling 500 teams that in any other more quality season would probably have like 3 or 4 wins right now
Hmm.
can compete for a playoff spot, man. It's just ridiculous to me.
And how embarrassing is it that the Seahawks lost twice to one of them too? They got swept by the Rams. Uh,
I feel like the Rams
yeah,
actually are middling though.
that's fair. That's fair. Um, the NFL this year is the Big Ten West. It's not good. It's not been a good product.
Honestly, man. Yeah, that's all I got. Honestly, this game was a relief for me. I was worried that we were going to have 2 teams on our heels, but we only got one, and it's the one I'm less worried about.
There you go. There you go. So that's it for NFL Week 14. I don't have really much to say from the Giants Packers game, honestly. The main takeaway Daniel covered there perfectly. So we're on to Week 15. We are on you know what? Last year's Week 15 kicked it off with, or we didn't kick it off, but ushered in the Saturday slate with the Vikings having what I think is the second biggest comeback in NFL history, which I think the biggest regular season
That was the
comeback in
Jeff
NFL
Saturday
history.
game.
The Jeff Saturday game. Saturday on a Saturday blew a 36-0 lead or something like that. It was crazy. But
Yeah, I think that's the biggest comeback ever. It has to be.
in regular season, I think it's biggest in regular season history. I think there's a bigger one in the playoffs though. But so we'd said we'll talk about the Raiders Chargers in a second, but let's get the Vikings right back on a Saturday, baby, and they're going to Cincinnati this time. But we'll talk about that game in a second. First, need to do a little quick recap. The Raiders burn their crops, poison their water supply. What was the thing they say in SpongeBob? They burned our crops. What? Ah, shoot! I have to. They destroyed them. The Chargers did not look like an NFL team.
Oh, it was bad. It was so bad.
They didn't look like a pro football team out
It was
there.
kind of hilarious, honestly. Brandon Staley is driving back to LA.
If you
He is
ever
not
need
on
to
the team
question
playing.
FPI, look at that. Chargers by 2.4, 57%
Oh
chance
gosh,
to win.
FPI. That's
FPI.
embarrassing, FPI.
That's bad. That's bad. So, yeah.
Honestly, I
Raiders.
kind of feel sad for Chargers fans. And the reason is because, like even like 10 years ago, a little bit over 10 years ago, the Chargers, to an extent, were a bit of a proud franchise. Like they had some really good players. They
LT and
had like
Philip
guys like
Rivers.
Danian
Mhm.
Tomlinson, Prime Philip Rivers, Antonio
Vincent
Gates,
Jackson.
Vincent Jackson.
Vincent Jackson, yeah.
Like they had some good players, man. They had some like pretty competitive teams too. And like the coaches weren't always great, but they were always competitive. And they had a good rivalry with the Patriots for a little bit. So to kind of see
That
that
was very
team
good
fall
run.
from grace this much is it's kind of sad to see. So I
Them and the
just wanted to throw
Patriots are
that
on the
out
same
there.
level right now. They played a 6-0 game a few weeks ago. So,
It's kind of a different
This
vibe. Like, do
is
we
the
like
Big
average six
Ten West.
rankings?
It sucks. The NFL sucks this year. Brady's kind of right that it sucks, but they're wrong for the reasons.
well,
Yeah, so I empathize with the Chargers fans. It's a rough go right now.
Raiders, all you did was screw up draft position. But whatever. Um, You won 63-21 against a division rival. No one can ever take that away from you. I would, you know what? I would give up a couple spots in draft position to say I scored 63 points against a
Oh
rival.
yeah.
So that's all right. That's all right. But we'll move down now here. Cincinnati hosting the Vikings. This is a game's a rematch of. Well, last week we talked about how Bengals Colts was a rematch of the Apple Cup with Minshew versus Browning.
Oh
This
yeah.
game
Yep. Pake.
is
We've been hyping this. We've been hyping this.
a rematch of the 2015 Zaxby's Heart of Dallas Bowl between Nick Mullins' SMU Golden Eagles and Jake
Nope.
Browning's
Nope.
Washington
Okay.
Huskies.
Okay. 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 There's a couple things wrong
Or
with what you
Southern
just
Miss,
said.
Southern Miss. Did I say SMU? I meant Southern
SMU.
Miss.
He didn't go to SMU, and SMU is not the Golden Eagles. Come on, man.
That's why I said the Southern Miss. I clarified Southern Miss.
There you go. Nick Mullins, baby. He's back.
It's the same. It's the same initials. I was just shortening. But yeah, SMU is generally considered a different school. But yeah, Nick Mullins versus Jake Browning. These two have squared off before. And Nick in that game, 44-31 Huskies win. This game, Bengals 3-point favorites at home. Playing actually in a national spotlight spot, which they played really well in actually. Which is funny because when Marvin Lewis was the coach, they always melted down in prime time. Now they actually play really well in prime time, especially at home. Is that the reason I'm going to pick them? No, the reason I'm going to pick them is because they're playing good football right now. But yeah, give me the Bengals -3 in this one. Browning keeps it going.
I like the Bengals too, man.
Be bold here. I'm gonna take the Vikings to cover. Probably not win though. I think Browning's gonna have a down game against a good defense. It's tough to read.
All right, I'm gonna put the differences in the chat so we don't forget them at the end. Vikings +3. Okay. Moving on to the next Saturday game here. The Steelers
Love Saturday games.
go to Indianapolis. Take on the Colts. Man, the Colts also playing another Saturday game, this time at home though. So Colts don't have Jeff Saturday this time either. 1.5-point favorites against the Steelers here. Steelers are starting Mitch Trubisky. Did not look good against the Patriots, but they do have a mini bye working in their favor. Give me the Colts -1.5. Although I think I'm gonna regret. Wait. Jonathan Taylor's not playing. Before I say anything, no, I'm changing Steelers +1.5.
He's betting on the Steelers. It served me pretty well. I'm gonna keep the train going. Um, Colts had a rough one last week. Let's see if that continues. Good D line. That's gonna be tough on Gardner. Give me the Steelers -1.5.
Yeah, I'm saying Pittsburgh wins outright.
Ooh.
And then Denver going
I'd take the
to
over on this one.
Denver going to historic Ford Field to take on what some consider to be the greatest football team of all time in the 2023 Detroit Lions. Some being some as in the definition of some being a few people probably somewhere. And Daniel Isn't unfortunately isn't one of them. Maybe he is. Maybe he will after this game because the Lions are 4-point favorites and they
Bro,
got Russ
we were
coming to town.
8-2, and I hesitated to call them a Super Bowl contender, and y'all were like, "Nah, you guys are a real contender." Bro, you got to watch our defense, man. It's not there yet. Maybe another year or two.
All right.
But
there you go.
Guess what, boys? I got a good feeling about this one. I think Detroit gets a win. I think we go to 10-4. I like the matchup here. I think we'll do okay.
Mm-hmm. Bob.
It's a tough one for me. I think it's be very high scoring. I don't like either defense here. I think both sides are going to get there. It's in the dome in December. Build Russ a dome. Give me the Broncos with the points.
Daniel, you did well for me last week when it came to calling the Bears to cover against Detroit. I don't know, man. The Broncos are playing good ball right now, so give me them +4.
Ooh.
I might regret that one.
I already started
I
writing that when you started
like the
saying
optimism,
that.
boys.
We're flipped. I'm the doubter now. Bears, the Bears going to Cleveland. Both
The
these teams
Browns.
coming off big season-saving wins because Joe Flacco is an elite quarterback.
An elite
Well, that was
quarterback.
British. I don't know why I
Bing,
went
bing,
British there.
bong, bong.
Um, Browns 3-point favorites. This one feels pretty cut and dry to me, guys. I don't know. 3 points doesn't seem like a lot. Give me the Browns -3.
I like Cleveland too.
I think, bounce, they played up last week. They'll probably play down this week. Give me the Browns.
There we go. The Battle of the Bays.
Sack the pack.
Battle of the Bays between Tampa Bay and Green Bay. Rematch of the 2020 NFC Championship game where Tom Brady went on to secure his legacy as the greatest athlete to ever play anything.
Perfect human.
Perfect human, as a wise man once said. But anyways, yeah, Bucks 3-point dogs to the Pack, or 3.5-point dogs rather, to the Packers on the road. I'll let Daniel lead this one since it's
Oh,
his
yes.
favorite team.
Of course, man. Most noble club. Proud stockholder. No,
Number one
honestly though,
stockholder.
this is probably going to be a fun game. Honestly, I think they both match up pretty evenly, but I'm going to take Green Bay.
Huge implications.
Very
Huge implications.
Yeah,
I'm
this could
going
come
to
up.
go.
This could be shoot. This could end up being a Oh no, never mind. It won't be a 4 versus 5 game because I forget whoever doesn't win the NFC East between the Cowboys and Eagles is locked into the 5. So never mind. But anyway, sorry to cut you off there, Bob. Go ahead.
I don't like fuck you guys. Um I don't like a Tampa Bay team going into Lambeau in late December. Give me the Packers.
I agree. Yeah, I think Packers have a little bit of a bounce back game after a little big letdown in New York. So yeah. Then we go down to the Music City, where the Houston Texans, Davis Mills, are taking on Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans. Titans 2.5-point favorites. I mean, all you have to say is that the Titans or the Texans will be starting Davis Mills. Give me the Titans -2.5 in this one.
I'm gonna agree there. Quarterback's better as well. Give me the Titans.
Yeah, give me Tennessee.
Then we go to South Beach for a rematch of the Black Friday game. Jets taking on the Dolphins. Jets coming off a a blowout win over the Texans, and the Dolphins coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Titans. Division matchup here. Dolphins won the first one pretty handily. And I think they're going to be pissed off. What's Tyreek's status? That's the only thing. If Tyreek's playing, hold on, I need to find out what's going on with Tyreek Hill here before I make a call. If Tyreek's playing, injured Hill plays on, spurred in part by wife's text. Well, good for him on that front. I just need to figure out what's going on with Tyreek Hill, and then I'm gonna make my call on this one. Where's the practice report? Just give me the practice report. Didn't even appear in that article about him, huh? Hold on. Dolphins, Jets, or Dolphins practice report. Injury report. Here we go. That's all I need to see. I'm gonna make my call after I see this. Tyreek Hill was a DNP. So was H-Shane, or H-On. So is Armstead. Holy crap, this team is beat to hell. Hey, but John Holland's limited. Screw it. With that much missing, it's too much for me. Give me the Jets plus 8.5.
8.5's a whole lot for a divisional game. It really does matter if Tyreek plays for me. I think a solid defense will propel the Jets to cover. Give me the Jets Jets here.
Yeah, I think Miami wins regardless, but I think Jets cover.
Yeah, I agree. Jets cover, Dolphins win. So we got the Chiefs, who apparently think they can play on either side of the line of scrimmage on offense. Going to New England to take on a much better coached Bill Belichick Patriots squad that's coming off a big win against a historic franchise in the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Second most noble.
Second most noble after, of course, the mighty Green Bay Packers. Chiefs are 7.5-point favorites in this game. They're gonna be so pissed. So give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree there. It's gonna be a freaking beat down.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty bad, man. And I think Chiefs easily take it. Also, like Patriots don't have anything to play for anymore, so
No, they're playing for draft picks. They're officially eliminated from the playoffs.
Belichick's gonna spite them from getting Caleb.
They need to lose out and get help for them to get Caleb at this point, though.
dude, I could see them drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. and then just not using him if Belichick stays next year.
Play him as a tight end.
Nah, bro. Gunner.
Put him at DB.
Too much.
They want
Stevie
Drake
Smith.
May.
Put him at gunner.
Drake May is the only draftable quarterback Drake May and Bo Nix are their only draftable quarterbacks.
You draft Marvin Harrison, and then you draft Marvin Harrison, and then you bury him on the depth chart because he wasn't willing to play gunner in a preseason game.
Yep. Exactly.
He's not draftable for them.
Trust again. He'll play
Brock Bowers, Joe
Stafford.
Alt, Torrey Taylor.
Corey Taylor, yeah. Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean. Oh, that's who they're taking early, huh? That's who they're going to take if they don't fire Belichick. Book that.
Lad
Joe Alt.
McConkey.
Lad McConkey.
Lad
Yep.
McConkey is a perfect New England Patriot, actually.
He is. Who
Who
else is a good white player?
If Brady was
Luke
still
Van Ness
playing,
was
he
last
would
year.
be, if Brady was still playing, he would be bounding the table for whatever team he plays for. Draft Lad McConkey.
Oh yeah. Jack Westover.
There you go. That's perfect. Speaking of perfect, we got Tommy Cutlets going down to Nolans. Take on some Saints. Yeah, I can't do a New Jersey accent. I'm sorry.
They're gonna
I'm sorry.
drown the Saints out in the bayou. Give me Tommy C, baby, to cover.
I like that. I like that. They've been playing spunky recently. They got some of that Jersey groove to them. So give me Tommy Cutlets to cover the +6. Although I think the Saints actually win straight up.
Give me Tommy DeVito's Giants to cover, and give me the Giants to win.
Oh,
Ooh, I like it. Another NFC South
Rome's gonna be
classic.
a giant.
Oh, that should be a good fit. Be a great fit.
Maybe
They
Jay
still need
Daniels is pretty
receivers. They
command.
still need receivers. They missed out on all the receivers last year in the draft. It's rough. There's a run right before them. Should have just drafted Josh Downs, who has been really good in Indianapolis.
Yep.
Desmond Ritter going up to Carolina to take on Bryce Young,
Game
the
of the week.
Panthers. The Panthers are wearing their black helmets in this game. I think that's worth noting. It makes a difference. Not enough for them to win this game. They won't, but they'll play it better.
All right, Daniel. You're
Go ahead.
gonna
Because I hate
be
the
making
Falcons.
my picks. You're gonna be making my picks until I'm back.
Okay. Because I hate the Falcons with every fiber of my being, because Arthur Smith ruins that team, and they're the biggest choke artists, they're going to win this game, but Carolina covers.
All right. So we're saying Carolina covers. That's Rob's official pick.
Yep.
I'm
Hear
gonna
that, Rob?
say they don't. I'm gonna say
Rob?
Atlanta -3. So, let's see, Rob, Panthers +3. There we go. There's two differences right now. So, thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You want to pick the commies to win straight up while we're at it in this next one? Yeah, I'm just kidding. But no, I think I'll give this one explanation. I do not believe in this Panthers team at all. They're a bad football team in all three levels. They're not well coached either. This Tabor guy's clearly in over his head. They're just a really bad football team, and I don't
Yeah,
care that they're
I
at
don't, I
home.
don't believe in the Panthers either, but I also believe in Atlanta somehow even less.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Atlanta. Let me check here. I already put it in the chat, so I'm already official with my Panthers pick. But Atlanta has shown the ability to win by 3. Yeah, they beat the Saints by 9. There you go.
Wow,
They
they
beat the
beat the
Jets by
Derek Carr
5.
Saints. Dennis
Hey,
Allen coach Saints.
something about that Derek Carr, Dennis Allen Saints team is they beat the Panthers by 22 last week.
Wow. I still
Transitive
don't believe in the
property.
Falcons, man.
Transitive property.
I feel like I know I'm gonna lose this pick. I just hate the Falcons and I hate the way they run.
That's fair. That's a
So
fair argument.
I just want to spite them.
That's a very fair argument.
I do feel for their fans though.
That's fair. That's fair. I feel for their fans too. They've been through a lot, man. 28 threes. It's tough. The Cammies going to City of Angels to take on Matthew Stafford, the greatest quarterback of all time. And it's going up against Sam Howell. And I should note, this is the worst offensive line or pass blocking offensive line in the NFL going up against Aaron Donald. So I'll let you go ahead and take it away here, Daniel.
Yeah, bro. Commies by 30. Easy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't put that in.
Sorry, already done.
Nah, man. Rams win. Easy.
I agree. Yeah, Rams take care of business in this one. I'm not too concerned about that. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, game of the week right
49ers.
here, man.
49ers going down to Glendale to take on the mighty Arizona Cardinals. Quarterback by Kyler Murray. And you know what? The Cardinals are coming off a bye here. They're at home. And actually, if we go back to when these teams first played earlier in the year, yeah, the Cardinals lost by 19 points. So I don't know. I guess there you go.
Dude, you know what, Bo? For this game, I'm gonna do something a little dirty. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
Rob a little dirty here.
taking
I
Cardinals
honestly
plus 12 and
think
a
I
half.
honestly think the Cards have a good chance to win this game. And the reason
Mhm.
is because every time, like I think the last time people thought the Niners were gonna be like this dominant juggernaut team, They go on to lose 3 straight. Then they bounce back. It's because people get so reactionary, man.
Mhm.
Niners are an elite team, probably the best team on paper at the very least in the NFL. But man, it's the NFL. Weird shit happens. I got a feeling about this game, man. I feel like Kyler could honestly do some damage.
You know what? I respect that to the point where I actually agree with everything you said. I actually agree. I'm going to take the Cardinals plus 12 and a half here too. They've been playing some spunky football, man. Yeah, I know
Dude,
they
yes.
got absolutely boat raced by the Rams a few weeks ago. I'm well aware of that. But outside of that, ever since Kyler came back, they're 2-2,
They're okay, man.
playing 14. All four of these teams are like in the playoff picture right now. And the only one that was a blowout was to the Rams. So I don't think they just don't match up very well against the Rams. And I don't know. I believe. So yeah, no, I don't think they're gonna win. They're not gonna win, but
Okay.
12 and a half. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, give me Cardinals plus 12 and a half.
I was gonna say, now that I tipped Arizona to win this game, watch the Niners win by 50 now.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Dallas going to Buffalo. I have to lead with this one. This is the first one I've had to lead with ever since Rob left, actually, now I think about it. So Dallas going to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Bills 2.5 point favorites. Cowboys come off a big, hard fought win. They're the talk of the town right now. Everyone's hyping up the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's the MVP favorite now. The Bills are the favorites in this game, though. And the Bills are going to win this game. And
You
they're
know what,
going to
man?
cover. Yeah, I believe. I
I'm with you.
believe.
Believe. Like we know all too well, there's never a dull moment in Buffalo, man.
Hmm.
Always some shenanigans. It's going to be a close game. Bills are going to win by 3. Cowboys come back to earth a little bit, and then media comes out and they'll talk about Cowboys being frauds. And we
Yep,
repeat the process all over again. And that's what makes the NFL great.
100%. So,
Every
and that's what
aspect.
makes the Dallas Cowboys great because you always know what's next for them. You always know what's next. Get a little too high and then they fall down the stoop. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Give me, yeah, Bills 2.5 there. Oh, Sunday Night Football. This game would be really fun if T Law was playing, or he is playing, but if he was not hobbled right now. Ravens -3 going to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's beat up right now, man. And surprisingly, for this time of the year, the Ravens aren't beat up. Although this was the game that Lamar got hurt in last year, was in Jacksonville. So, um, they're playing so good right now, and the Jaguars have dropped two stinkers in a row. Give me the Ravens -3.
Taking the Ravens.
Yeah. Um,
We gotta wait for
and then
Rob for this
last,
game, man.
yeah, we gotta wait for Rob for the Seahawks. We gotta wait for Rob for the Seahawks. So, man, he's been gone a while. Okay.
There, Bob.
Let's look at some scores around the National Hockey League. I want to hear your breakdown on this National Hockey League
Oh
season.
yes. I watched the Oilers game actually today.
Oh yeah, how'd that go? Wait, hold on. Let me go. They lost the Lightning 7-4, so not great. It's
Best 7-4 loss I've ever seen. Not even kidding.
really,
Yeah, we outplayed them the whole game. It's just
yeah, up three
Lightning's
two in the
goalie. Lightning goalie had like 50 saves.
sheesh. It's
Yeah.
insane.
And then yeah, their high end talent just showed up really well, and then our goalie didn't really stop anything. But it was a good game. Oilers honestly played well.
Oilers a
And the
perfect
Canucks
500.
shut out the Panther? Bro, where is Vancouver coming from, dude? What?
29-1. Dang. Look at
Damn,
that.
dude. Man, the Kraken blew out the Blackhawks. Jesus.
Look at the standings here. Let's see. League. I want to see who's the worst team in the national. We're not the worst team in the National Hockey League. The
San
Blackhawks are
Jose,
worst.
I think they had like a 0-10 stretch or whatever for a little bit. In their last few games, they are 9-7-2.
Wow.
They're actually okay.
They're not
Playing
even the
some
worst
spirited
team in their
hockey.
own division. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's because Anaheim's lost like 12 straight, I
He's
think.
back, boys.
All right, perfect. We're saving the Seahawks game for you. So we went
Oh, thank you.
through everything from Panthers, Falcons to Ravens, Jags. The only difference we had was we put in the chat there. He took the Panthers +3.
You took the Panthers.
Dude.
You gave him the reins, baby.
I gave him the reins. Yeah. Oh
So,
shit.
Not
Eagles again.
Eagles -3.5 going to Seattle.
Yeah,
Take
no,
on.
yeah, give me the Eagles. The Eagles are gonna win by a lot.
Okay, there you go. Daniel.
I think Seattle wins this game, guys.
Wow.
They're not done yet.
Wow.
It's gonna be an upset, dude. I
Jalen
think,
Carter's winning Rookie of the Year. No,
It's
it
a
should be
favorite
Spoon.
for
but
He's a
here's the thing,
favorite.
though. See, I can say that Seattle's gonna win on Monday, but Philly is still a damn good team. They're still gonna be a threat in the playoffs. But it is the NFL, boys. Weird shit happens.
What's
And
their
also,
get right
Philly
game?
hasn't won this matchup since 08.
I know that one is crazy. I don't think we've ever faced the Sirianni Eagles. I don't think we have.
Like Philly's
Um,
secondary this year is a little jank. I'm not gonna lie. Their pass rush is good, but their secondary is a little jank. I think Seattle's weapons.
I think Jalen Carter's gonna try and make a statement.
Dude, I
He's
don't
gonna
know, man.
cast on me.
I think your weapons are they're gonna do well. I can see
Yeah.
a big game from
You know,
guys
I
like
will give you this. There's a lot of Seahawks weirdness on Monday night. There always is. On
There can be a
prime
Fail
time. Prime
Mary.
time.
The Seahawks' great stretch started with Fail Mary and ends with a Fail Mary. How's that for a bold prediction?
Yeah. That would be fun. Yeah. That'd be
Only this
fun.
time they called an interception. That's how you knew the era's over.
It was not an interception. His feet weren't down.
There you go. Yeah, give me the Eagles in this one. Sorry, I like their argument, Daniel, and I will go back to my argument that the last 6 Monday Night Football games have been won straight up by the underdog. But I need to see it from the Seahawks team first. I think Seahawks do have 3 winnable games left on their schedule after this one, though. So if they are able to win this, I'm right back to saying they'll be a playoff team. But let's see it. Well, there you go. So only 2 differences this week, and that's Minnesota and Cincinnati. I've got my Bengals, and Rob is a doubter of the Jake Browntown Browning, downtown Jake Brown.
Montlake Jake.
Montlake Jake, Jake
Montlake Jake
Feisty.
2. Jake Feisty.
Jake Feisty. Well, there's Jake Feisty. He's already got a lot of nicknames. It's Jake Feisty. There's to match or to match Joe Burr. He's got Jake Frost.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that
Downtown
one.
Jake Brown, I think, is my favorite.
Is there any city part of Cincinnati's not on a lake? Damn it. It's
They're on
something
a
like
river. That's not the same.
it doesn't end in ache though.
Yeah, it's true. It doesn't. Yeah, that'd be nice if it did. Yeah, it'd be nice if it did. J Core Stadium. There you go.
Jake Stadium.
And
Ring the
then
bell there, but looks like it's
Rob's
working.
also got the Panthers +3. Let the record show.
You
Thanks,
really
Daniel.
screwed me over there, Daniel. I'm trying to claw back up here.
To be fair, they're playing the Falcons at home, so it's
Okay.
it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
So, but that's it.
I just feel
for...
burned by the Panthers last week. That's all.
Yeah, that was my argument too.
They
It was
burned me
like,
pretty bad.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but like the Panthers couldn't cover 6 against the Saints. I think the Falcons are better than the Saints, and they're only getting 3. So, but well, there you go. That's it for the West Coast Draft Podcast. Another great episode, another fun episode. Keep coming back when all 3 of our teams are in the playoffs. We'll see. One of them will be. One of them will be.
One of them will be. Yeah.
Hopefully.
You're pointing down. Yeah, there you go. But any closing thoughts? So we'll start with Daniel.
This is a weird week of football. The NFL is so weird, but that's what makes it
NFL's weird.
entertaining, man. It's just never know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of chocolate. Shout out Forrest Gump.
Shout out Forrest Gump. Shout out Jenny. Although Jenny was didn't treat Forrest the best, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
I
kinda
know what
mean.
you're trying to say, and I agree.
She kind of mean, man.
Shout out Bubba. Shout out Bubba.
Bubba, shout out
Yeah.
Bubba. Shout out
Um,
Lieutenant Dan. He was kind of
Shout
a
out
jerk,
Lieutenant
but he
Dan.
came around in the end.
He came around, yeah. Um, who's another shout out to?
Shout out to Forrest
About
Mom.
it. Forrest Mom. Is there a Mr. Gump? Miss Gump? He's on vacation. I know way too much about that movie.
It's a great movie. It's a great
Sorry,
movie.
I ruined your Black Panther party.
I got another
um,
closing thought real quick too. Make sure to get State Farm insurance and you can bundle my home and my auto.
Yeah, I'm not getting that insurance anymore.
yeah, they won't cover offsides penalties. I just learned on Sunday.
Oh,
That's good.
woo. Nice.
All right, there you go.
All
Closing
right. If
thoughts, Mr. Bob.
one of us lines up offsides, all of us lines up offsides. One of us click like, all of us click like. One of us subscribe, all of us subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Drive safe and horns down, by the way.